My ultimate goal in this film industry is just to make a lane, to make, well, not even that, to be honest with you. I just want to create some stuff I can watch. That's always the main purpose. It was just to make content to watch. I want to watch. I watch it my own stuff if it's good. you know.
I'm aiming for the A list as far as like performance side, as well as directing, getting my own thoughts and ideas out. With my team. Uh, but the ultimate goal definitely A list. They say it's like they say the $20 million man like gone. You know what I mean? $20 million movie man is gone. Like with Will and The Rock. Like I want to recreate that $20 million man. You know what I mean? And not it's not about the money part, but as far as like, are you able to spearhead a production for 6 months in a hard location where it's mosquitoes and whatever, you know what I mean? Like, and put on a grand performance that's balanced enough and neutral enough to be shown all over the world. You know what I mean? A lot of my thoughts and ideas I want to get out, I know probably too provocative for uh, world audiences. Like certain places like a Singapore or China. Like you can't have shooting in certain movies. You know what I mean? People be like, "Why my movie ain't going nowhere?" You only could like film that in United States because that's the people that. But I want to be that A-lister that has the ability to work hard for 9 months straight, 14 hours a day, giving the ultimate performance. You know, because the lighting dude doing his job to the most, and he's struggling, and the mosquitoes biting him too. Like, work in a swamp underwater for 9 months and do my best. That's the ultimate. I left. I went to school for theater arts and acting, and being in front of the camera was the mission. Like I'm not necessarily switching it up, but directing is down the line somewhere. When I'm not able to be vibrant. I'm not trying to lose that anytime soon, but it's down the line somewhere. I want to master this, in front of the camera first. But be that $20 million man. Well, some studio want to pay me this amount of money because they know he go do the job. The amount of money is just the whatever, but having that ability to do the job and people love it on a mass scale, and me have the endurance to sit down and do an interview after a lot. You know what I mean?
Obstacles would be me. I'd be my own obstacle. It's the only thing that could get in your way is yourself. My biggest oppressor in the film industry is other creators. If we all put out the same type of quality work, I think more work will go around. But because I think certain demographics only watch certain stuff, you either have to make that or move on. And I think that that's the problem. And I wish that, like us as creators kind of got together more, like how rap used to be like in the 90s and in like the early 2000s. Like you always see like all of them together. And I think we need to work together more as creative content so we could put out better stuff. But I think we all just in our own worlds.
As I move forward, I feel like holding me back is not believing in myself the same way I believed in myself when I initially started. And things working, but like why you don't have that same intensity staying as you had when you started? Like you closer to the goal than you was before. So like kickstarting and boosting my learning curve to accelerate more. I feel like I be making money now. I can, like I'm not a starving artist. And, you get a little complacent when you get a little comfortable. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's an area holding me back, but pushing me forward is taking care of my kids and family and life, and want to check off those boxes of what I want to do. I went to a stunt class, a training class, and
That's
I
cool.
still wasn't good, you know. I didn't really know what to do, but I was just, one of my college professors was always, you know, you be bold in your actions, making bold choices. And I went to the stunt class making bold choices, and not small choices because I was hurting myself because I didn't really have the technique initially. But it was something that I loved. I knew it brought, you know, wanting to be an action actor, not just a, you know, soap opera star, for lack of better words. I felt like this was like part of that journey I needed to explore to bring me closer to my ultimate, or let me put it in acting terms, to my supreme objective. My senior year, I had to put on a play. I did The Dutchman by uh, Amir Baraka. He had like just changed his name to like Leroy Jones. It was this like controversial play. And I was a student government president too my senior year, so I got a chance to have a big audience. You know, people don't normally really go to the stage play classes. So I got a chance for the chancellor and different officials and people that ran the school got a chance to check it out. And it was pretty good. It was intense. It definitely set the stage for me as far as meeting deadlines, rehearsing with other people with schedules. And you know, as I move forward in my career, I know how important it is working as a team and being on time when you're working with a team. You know, that's something I take pride in, being punctual in the film.
I can say that my most challenging role was when I played Christian Boudreaux on The Prodigal Brother, because that was a church play, short film, and I had to do a lot of crying and gun toting and all this, and it was so hard to do that without cursing. You know, it was like a hood movie, but it was for church. You know, so it was like so hard for me to like carry all these emotions around and cry. I had to cry like a lot, and woo, you know. But the worst role I think I had that I didn't like was probably the jail one when we was in Breakout Kings. I hated that because like I didn't have a clue on what I was doing. That was my first ever like film role, like film, just like film role. That was like my first role, and I was so like confused and didn't know nothing because I can't say this, like being in theater, like they didn't teach you nothing about film. Like we didn't learn nothing about film. Like everything I learned from film, I had went to BRCC for like one semester for film, and I took that little bit I learned from that, and the rest of it I learned on set. Yeah.
The crazy thing, the challenging stunts, you always put your mind to it. You know, like you wrap your mind around it a couple times. You go through the ins and outs. You go through your outs. That's the thing. Like when you doing your actual stunt, and that's what you gotta do. But you're out. Like if this not working, I have to do this. Or if this not working, I make sure I, you know. But on the more simpler stunts, you would, you know, just feel like, oh, I could just. But my most challenging, I don't know, I've been set on fire before. I've challenging as far as what? Like on my body or my mind?
Your mind.
Okay.
The most mentally challenging.
Always fire. Dealing with fire is always challenging mentally and physically. Because you would think like, oh, hot, fire, flame. And of course that happens, but before you go through the fire, getting set on fire, the chemical, the gel that they put on your clothes, they like put it in the freezer for like a day. So they have your 2-3 layers of clothes dipped in this freezing cold gel, and you gotta put it on, and you put multiple layers on, and they tuck it and they tape it so no air get into it. But so before you get set on fire, and you already nervous. So you know when you get nervous, like you get all jittery too. So you like frozen and nervous and you have to catch your breath when you like. You can't breathe as much when you engulfed in flames. You can't really breathe at all. Like standing still, you can't breathe. But like moving forward, when the flame behind you, you could, and you use your lips and not your nose, because you can tell if the fire is like, if you breathe in fire or not. But your nose, you can't tell, and it flames in your brain. It's intense. But the cold part is always it. Like the freezing part, like being in cold water, open water. I'm a southern tropical dude, so every time I have to get cold, it really do a number on me. I feel bad because I feel like I'm looking all scared and nervous, but I'm really just cold. Because it's hard work. People like think it's glorious and luxurious. It is, but like 14-hour days, easy. You know what I mean? All the time. 14-hour days. That's how I be. 14 hours. Buku, 6 months. In a desert, you know? Or whatever location you filming at. Like, and you'll be in the summertime, but the movie is placed in the winter. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be, because after every movie, like I learn something more. You know, whether it's a tactical movie, I learn how to shoot better, or be like a military man more, or, you know. So I think filming put your mind and body and soul through like different, like your character, whoever your character is, you ultimately like going through that journey of that character. So it'd be like a sidebar life lesson for every film for me, you know. So I want that max role and wear it well and be happy every day for the grip that's like, you know, putting something together. You make sure I say hello to the guy with the boom mic every day. Hey, what's up, big dog? You know what I mean? The same way. A squib, that's like when you see somebody getting shot on TV and they have like the blood that shoot out their body. You have this setup where it's like a piece of leather, a piece of steel, a blood bag, and like a, almost like a C4 little dynamite charge. And you know, it blow through the clothes, so it's one take. You get it wrong, you hurt yourself, one, and you get it wrong, you don't have another take. I did 27 squibs one time on this project, BMF. I was doubling for a guy. And if I would have got it wrong, I would have blew a hole in my face. So, you know, it definitely puts you in the mindset where you want to do your best job because they hired you and you're a professional, as well as be safe so you can get another job and you work tomorrow.
Advice I would give people following the same dream is not to take my lane. I personally feel like you should take your own lane because I feel like I stumbled into my lane. My initial aim was not to make like the Jesse Show and Camille and all that. I really wanted to make like Spike Lee type stuff and serious, more conscious aware stuff. Somewhere down the line, I ended up in comedy and into drama and romance. I don't know how the hell I got there, but I'm there. So that's why I say like just go your own path, and I really think Hollywood, your artistic qualities is going to push you into the direction you need to be in. Well, my advice for future writers and creators, directors is just to write the truth. Don't be in your head too much. Write how you feel and then go from there. Like, at least write down all of the stuff. Don't think too hard and say, well, I can't say this, I can't say that. Write it first and then dissect it later. But at least you got it all out. And then you can really dissect it and see what really got to go and what doesn't.
And how?
There's so much advice you could give. Always keep a good attitude about everything. You know what I mean? Don't get lost in your brain. and get all foggy, you know. Don't stay positive. You know, it's so much cliche advice in every realm of profession. But the cliche stuff work. You know, stay positive, vibrate high. You know what I mean? But the best advice going into stunts, train. Train, train, train. Know your body. Train, train, train. Be prepared. And fact, and train, train, train. Know your body. Be prepared. But be well-rounded. Well-rounded. Train and be prepared. Be on time. Like I say, all this stuff don't even sound like it's like, oh man, I thought you was about to give me some advice, you know, from the sages. Like, it's easy. Be on time, be happy, be prepared, be good at what you know what you know, and know how to be quiet too, you know. Like, I got some advice from one of my homies that he got from his dad. Dad, a legend in the industry. You know, the young homie, a legend also. He was like, you know, because on set, everybody always like trying to put their 2 cents in. Like, if it ain't something that's gonna change, that's gonna solve all the problems, don't say it. Because, you know, like, on the movie set, it's like constant problem solving. You know what I mean? Like, the mission at hand is to make a beautiful movie that everybody love and want to see it and buy and spend their money on so you could get an ROI, return on investment, whether you the actor, whether you the light man, whether you the sound man, you know, it's that Voltron. Everybody doing their best job so like they can say, hey, I did this movie. You know, that's what everybody want. Recognition and a couple dollars so you can take care of your kids and stuff. But yeah.
The sacrifices that I have made for this business is tremendous. I've lost a lot of time with family, friends, my child, my personal life, my wife, but they've been very understanding about it. I haven't had any problems with it, but I do miss a lot of time just with social life, you know. It just depends though. If I'm not filming or anything and I'm just like editing or writing and the film season is done, then yeah, I get a lot of time with my people, but it just depends. Like if we filming, then you know, you have to pretty much lock yourself away for like a few months and you're never gonna see nobody.
You know, the naysayers, you know what I mean, as far as like close relatives, friends and family, you know, like moving or distancing myself from certain energies, that's a sacrifice because, you know, it'll be people you love and you can't really just be around them because a lot of stuff will live rent-free in your brain if you allow it, you know. Sacrifices or sacrificing certain times and periods with my kids. I know early on in that starving artist mode, you know, I like my 12-year-old. Until he moved with me, I miss his birthday every year. I'd be there a few days before or a few days after. It was never on his birthday. And he like remembered that until he moved with me, you know? So it's definitely sacrifices with like family, time, and still it happens. Cause at this point, before I was working and I like, this is what popped up and I gotta go do it. But now being in a certain rhythm and hey, we need you for this. Like when a job call, I gotta go. Like with strikes and different things that go on in the industry, like every job that I get a call for, I gotta go. It's the only time I could turn down a job if I'm already working a job. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's never like, what it is. Nah. And I have the pleasure and blessing to work with a lot of phenomenal people where I don't have to turn down like, you know, the crazy person.